Hi, I'm Jesse Horn with the Turning Post, and on behalf of the Turning Post and Easy Wood Tools, we're going to turn a Christmas ornament today. It's going to be an orb, and we're going to have a finial on the top and the bottom. It'll be a short finial on the bottom, and we're going to start out with a piece of wood this one's about 2 3/4 inches in diameter, and it is probably about 3 inches long. If you were to start out with a square piece of wood, you would start out with a piece that is 3 by 3. And then you would go ahead and find your center. You'd find your center here. We'll just do that right quick. And I usually mark about three places randomly. And once I get that done, I have a punch. I'll take that punch and I'll find the center. And then I'll turn it in between centers. I usually put a stab center in my chuck, and I will go ahead and turn it. I will get put a tenon on it. My tenon is 1 3/4 inch in diameter, and it's about a quarter inch in length. And the reason I make it a quarter inch in length is because I know that my jaws are 3/8 of an inch deep. I do not want it to rest all the way down to the bottom of my jaws. In other words, I don't want it to bottom out. So what I want is a 1/4 of an inch. That means that it will set on the shoulder, and it'll turn a lot better. You have better grip on it. So, having said that, I'll show you where I am right now. What I've done is I have turned this down to 2 1/4 inches in diameter. I have come over 2 1/4 inches in length, and I have marked it. I found my center, and then I found where I want to round it off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole. It's a 5/8 inch hole all the way through. And I have my mark here on my bit right here. And so I want to make sure I turn it on about 500 RPM. And I want to go all the way through because we're going to have a finial on the top and on the bottom. So I'm going to let my drill bit find the center gently, and now I want to drill. I'm going to clear it out. I don't want to touch. If you push it in there and it presses up against that, it might go off center. And that's the other reason that you clear this out. We don't want our drill bit to wander off. Okay. Now we have that drilled all the way through. I'm going to bring up my tailstock for support right now. And I'm going to take my parting tool and part down this side right here, which will give me a lot of room, or some extra room, for making my orb. I'm using the Easy Wood parting tool. It's about 1/8 of an inch, it's a 1/16 of an inch wide. Okay, I'm back. So what I'm doing is I'm parting this one side here. It's going to give me some room to turn my orb. And I'm going to go ahead and take it down to about 1 inch in diameter. There we go. Now I'm going to use my small hollower and start forming my orb. I think I'll go back to my number 1 hollower. This is my go-to tool. So I better get a little bit of room in here. Now let's go to this other side. Take your time and take nice light cuts. Let me clean out this one side a little bit more so I can kind of get down in there a little deeper. This detail gouge is a very nice tool. Now we check it. Okay, I can come off this, always on these shoulders here is where it's always high, right in here. Okay, let's check it. Okay, and now let's sand it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand it and I'm going to do all my decorative work before I start hollowing it out. That way I know I won't kind of cut through it. Okay. Shape it. I think I need to round it over a little bit more here. Right in here. There we go. Now let's try that again. I'll go through my grits. There we go. I'll go to my 120. And now I'll go to my 220. Go to my 400. And I'll go to my 6. So now we'll decorate it. I'll get my micro detailer, put my marks on it. Get my wire burner. These wire burners are very nice. Easywood made they did a good job making these. Easy to use, easy to grip. Okay. And now I'm going to decorate it, and I think you got to turn it down to about, with the micro, you turn it down to about 1,000 RPM. This is a spiraling. Okay, let's take a look and see how that looks. Okay, I think we can do a little bit better. Now let's look. Okay, we've got that. So now we're going to get to hollowing. And I'm going to be using the mini hollowing tools from Easy Wood, which are nice. Normally, you can make this hole about a ½ inch, but when you're using these tools, you need to make it 5/8 of an inch. And the reason is because these are fairly large, and if you use a ½ inch, it'll be very difficult. You might even catch on you. So I'm going to put it in reverse. I'm going to start working on this side right here. And give me a minute. I want to turn my camera around. Okay, I'm back. It's about as good as I can get. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in reverse. And I'm going to start working in here. Take light cuts. And we look how deep we want to go. I've already got this marked. So I'm going to take it in as far as my tape right here. Take your time. Take light cuts. You start feeling it do that, then it's time to clear it out. Okay. Okay. Check it for thickness. Still fairly thick. This mark right here is about 1/4 inch. Now I'm going to turn it back to forward. Now with this tool, you need to be very careful because it can grab, and when it grabs it takes it down. So you have to be very careful with it and don't take big cuts. Enter carefully. Take very light cuts. can feel it trying to grab it from me. Okay, gently bring it out. Okay, let's clear it again. All right, let's take a measurement. Almost. To get back in that back corner back there, let's do it this way. I can take off a little bit more for right here. We're there. So, let's get back in this one corner back here. Trying to take it. I'm just going along that wall, trying to fill the contours, smoothing out where I have my bumps. Gently turn it off. And now you can take it out. Let's check it out again. This should get it. Okay. 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 Okay, it's all even. And now, before I take this off, I'm going to smooth out my texturing. And when you're doing this, you don't use a nylon brush. You use one that has some kind of hair to it. If you use nylon, it'll melt on you. It gets so hot. All right, so now we're going to part this off. And so when we part this off, if you'll part it less than 1,000 RPM, it won't go crazy, it won't run off on you. Mostly it'll just kind of drop on you. There we go. So now that we have this done, let me get this set up. I'll be right back. We'll get it set up and we'll get ready to turn a jam chuck. Okay, I'm back. I found a piece of scrap wood and it's probably about 7/8 in diameter. So I will take my rougher and we will turn this down to 5/8. I'm just doing this little part first. That way, if I get it too small, I have more to play with. Still a little bit too big. Almost. And you got to be careful too, not to have it too tight or it'll break it. want it snug. Okay, a little bit more. Okay. Okay. That's just about perfect. So you're going to bring this little part down. I think I want to take it down a little bit more. That's a little bit too snug. I'm scared I'm going to break it. So let's just do a little bit more on this back side. That should do it. Doesn't take much. Okay, all right. So now, let me draw up my tailstock. Let's draw this up. Give it a little bit so we're squared up. Okay. I'm going to release it a little bit. I'll barely touch it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my detailer, and clean this up right here. So let me try, see if I can do it without having it come off on me. Right here, all you have holding that is that jam chuck. So we just take our time. Now let's sand it and see if we can shape it. I'll take it down to about 1600. Okay. Let me just do it gently. Okay, I think we'll go to 100. All right. starting to come out nice. Okay, 180. Let's go to 200, 220. Go 400. And now we'll go 6. Now let's drop it back down. Let's drop it back down to 1,000 RPM. And let's see if we can texture this. All right, let's see what happens here. Still got to be gentle with it. I think I want to pull up my tailstock, get a little bit of support. Let's see how that looks. I think that'll work. Let's try to get that bottom a little bit better. Okay, I'll take the brush, turn it up, smooth it out. Let's take a look at it. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to color it. And so we'll just turn it down a little bit. And she likes baby blue. Now I've got my pen pointing downwards. Let's go to the other side. See how it looks. That doesn't look too baby blue to me. Let me see if I can find some baby blue. I'll be back. Well, I'm back, and the light blue wasn't really what I liked, so I went ahead and I used a dye. It's called a light blue dye. This is about as light as it gets, and I still wasn't completely crazy about that, so I ended up putting a silver gilder's paste on it, kind of highlight it a little bit. So when I get through and I get the Merry Christmas put on it and the date, I will go ahead and spray it with a glitter, and kind of give it a glitter effect. But this is how it came out. So now it's on to the finial. So let's take this out. So I just took a piece of dowel. One thing about this chuck, this is an easy wood chuck. I've got several chucks. I bet you I have 10 to 14 of them, different brands, different types. But they have the screws in them, and you have to take the chucks off and replace them, you have to take out the screws. And I don't like doing that. And this made it so easy. This just pops out. What took me several minutes to do takes me less than a minute to do. So here we go, we'll just pop them on. At first I was very leery about it because I just couldn't understand how they could take the pressure and they might come off and pop off, but a friend of mine had them and he uses them all the time and he loves them, and so I said, well, why not? So let me mark this. We'll get our center on this. Now, one thing I have learned is that these cone shape, these 60 degrees, are nice, but when you're using something this small, you got to be very careful because it could split it out. So, gently get it set, tighten it down, and I'm not going to put too much pressure on this outside out here. So get your calipers. We're going to do the top one first. Should be 5/8. It is. So this is going to be my top up here. I don't want to take off much on this right here. Okay. We're going to go for 7/8. It shouldn't take much. Okay. So now I'll take my detail. Get that micro. Okay. Round this over. Now, let's take this down to 5/8. Okay. Not quite. There we go. Now let's kind of bring this back a little bit. A little taper to it. And we'll take this one. Okay, let's sand this. And we should be done with the top. Get 120. 200 or 220. $400. $600. Okay. I want a little bit more detail in this if I can get it. A little more detail. Okay, got it. Okay, let's go ahead and let's doctor it up a little bit. Okay. Let's part it off. Before I do that, I might want to make a hole in it. Okay. Okay. Now let's part it off. There you go. There's the first one. So now let's do the other part. Okay. Loosen this up a little so we got more room. Okay. So now let's get this bottom part. Okay, let's get my detail. take our measurement on this last one. Okay. Now, okay. So now, now, okay. So now we can sand it. And we are almost done. We'll just start out with 100 this time. Okay, let's go to 120. Let's see what we have, make sure. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. Let's get 120. Okay. 400. Okay, so one more time, let's give it a little bit of color. Okay, a little bit of color. There we go. Okay. Let that dry a minute, and we shall cut this off. Okay. There we are. We've got a Christmas ornament now. On behalf of the Turning Post and Easy Wood Tools, I want to thank you all for tuning in for this tutorial, and I hope you all enjoyed what you saw. If you have any questions about anything I've done today, please leave your questions down below and I'll get back to those as soon as I can. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe to our channel. That helps us keep on YouTube and providing more tutorials for you. In a week from this Saturday, which will be the 12th of October, I will be in Colorado Springs providing a demonstration for the Woodcraft store. And then the next day, on Sunday, I will be in Denver providing, on the 13th of October, providing a demonstration for the Rockler store. So if you're in that neighborhood, please stop by and see us. We'd love to have you there. So y'all have a blessed evening. Take care.